And welcome live to the Prince of Wales Theatre, just off Leicester Square in the West End of London. And as you can hear, rehearsals are going on behind me. And joining me is Gina Murray. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Star of the full Monty. You're marvellous in this, aren't you?
Thank you so much. I do my best. My red wig is very impressive.
It's fantastic. It must be an exciting show to do as a lady, because you get to see naked men on a regular basis.
Well, call me old-fashioned, but there's nothing more than that to cheer you up of an evening. I love it. It's such good fun, honestly. It really is.
Well, you say that, but the thought of me naked would make you very depressed, I'm very sure.
I don't know, I'll take what I can get, really.
Now, let's talk about the full Monty, because we all know the film set in Sheffield. Musical's not quite set in Sheffield, is it?
No, it's in Buffalo, but to be honest, once you're into the first 5 minutes or so, you've forgotten that anyway. All the issues are exactly the same, you know, and it really works well in its own right as a piece. So, and lots of people that were worried about that have come to see, you know, the theatre with kind of an open mind but slightly perturbed by that, have forgotten about it entirely and have had a wonderful time, and I'm one of those people.
Now, I have to admit, I was a little apprehensive coming to see the full Monty, because being a red-blooded male that plays rugby and kicks over trees, I thought, the thought of naked men on stage is not quite for me. But it's not like the Chippendales or anything like that, this musical, is it?
Not at all. You'll find it really appeals across the board, much to everybody's surprise, and it's a very butch show, actually. So the guys find themselves identifying really easily, very much like the film, quite butch. And then, of course, for hen parties, you've got the end, which is literally the end, which is very appealing to them as well. And Dora Bryan, of course, brings in older markets, so everybody's happy across the board.
Gina, tell me about you. You've got a great personality. You've been doing the business a while. What have you been in? Where will we have seen you on stage or on TV?
You will have seen me in a movie called Sorted, and you'll have seen me in musicals like Fame, Patsy Cline, Roy Orbison. Not those musicals, but musicals like them. No, I'm only kidding. I was in those, leading lady for most part. And I've also come from a show business background. So, you know, if you don't know me, you might know my sister Maz, who's in musicals all over the place. And my father was a pop songwriter for the Beatles, Jerry and the Pacemakers, doing How Do You Do It? I Like It, Bonnie and Clyde, Billy W. Hero, blah, 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 blah. And Mummy was in show business as well, appearing with Joe Brown in movies, Harry H. Corbett. So it's really, I can't get away from it. And,
so you never fancied being a bin woman or anything then?
Well, you know, if the price was right, I may still consider it. I have my days free.
Now, you have a showbiz manner about you, because when you walked in this afternoon, I was stood there in reception, and this lady came in who looked a cross between Marilyn Monroe and Jerry Halliwell, just glamour oozing out of every orifice. It was marvellous. Hey, did you learn this from your parents?
I love you for that. Yes, I think I did, to be honest. To be fair, yeah, they're both very show-busy people and larger-than-life characters, and you couldn't really avoid getting tarred with the same brush, to be honest with you, but it's very kind of you to say so.
Because there's dancing, singing, moving, acting, there's everything, really, isn't there?
It's totally all action, and certainly from the boys' point of view, from start to finish, they're never off that stage, and it really is a hard slog, but more than fun. It really is, especially for the girls who get these lovely opportunities to sing a song and then go sit down for 10 minutes, then come on and do another song and some wonderful scenes and work with all these guys who were Broadway leads. You know, they started off the show and they've come over to the West End. So it really is a fantastic show for everybody to be involved in.
What were rehearsals like in the beginning before you launched it here in London? Because it started on Broadway. Was it an embarrassing experience? Was it fun? Did you laugh a lot? What was it like? We did have a lot of laughs, actually, during the rehearsal period. But for the guys, they knew what was coming. And so, you know, they were prepared. But we were thinking, oh, we're going to be in on the first rehearsal or what? But they handle it really, really tactfully. And it's really well done. And to answer everybody's questions, we don't really see anything, although having said that, it's all there for you. If you can adjust your eyes in time, you might get a glimpse. My sister Veronica had her binoculars out, and I don't know whether she got a peek. I was sat there with my hands over my eyes. I thought, I'm not even going to risk this, but from what I was aware, there was no actual nudity, which was a great relief. Yeah, you don't see it, but they are actually doing the full Monty, you know, for the purposes of keeping true to the piece, but you don't really see anything. So, as we say, there are a few differences, the fact that it's not set in Sheffield, but it doesn't really matter, as you say, because it's the same kind of thing. And I think the moral to the story of the full Monty is family, coming first, isn't it? And it's a story about a father and his son.
Absolutely. It's a story that everybody can relate to in some way, shape or form. You know, it's about unemployment, it's about desperation, just like the movie was, and everybody can relate to that. After 5 minutes, you've forgotten that we talk like this. It doesn't matter, because the issues are the same, everything else is the same, and actually, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It went so well as a piece and a musical in its own right. They were worried that if they change it now, it's not going to work as well, and I think they were right.
Do you pinch yourself every night when you stood here in the West End in one of the biggest theatres right on Leicester Square in front of 1,100 people doing a Broadway West End show?
Absolutely. Every single night I look in the mirror and think, gee, I'm lucky. They must be out of their minds to hire me. I absolutely adore it, and I share a dressing room with Julia Lana Brighton, who was Belle in Beauty and the Beast, and Rebecca Thornhill, who was right here in this theatre with Witches of Eastwick, and they're very well-versed girls, and it's such a nice cast as well. Really experienced but really fun cast. So yeah, I absolutely love it.
Gina, I have a terrible confession to make. When I came to see this musical, I didn't think the singing would be the most important thing. I didn't think it would be terribly up to scratch, to be perfectly honest with you. But I have to say, I was so impressed with particularly your voice and the cast generally. And the guys have got great voices as well. These really are Broadway West End voices. These aren't just guys that can take their clothes off.
No, what you get is all-round ability, and really to an excellent standard in every case, which is rare that you can say that about a musical, and I mean that genuinely.
Now, your character sings a song called It's a Woman's World. This isn't actually an original song from the musical, is it? But a lot of the songs are, and it's a great piece of music, and you sing it every night. Is it a hard song to sing?
It's a real belter, so I have to give it full energy, but if I do that, it's fine. It's one of those songs that you just can't help getting swept up into. I'm sure you'll hear it.
And it's one of those songs that you get kind of a tear in the eye, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these songs are really lyrically very strong, so from an actor's point of view, to sing them is just like, you know, singing dialogue. They make sense, they're in the moment, and, you know, as silly as that sounds, it's really important in a musical, plus the fact you're blown away by fabulous voices and great talent. So,
and as you sing in the show, it's a woman's world.
Oh, long may it continue to be one.
Lovely to talk to you today. Gina Murray, live on BBC Radio Leicester.
Thank you for having me.